This is K-Rockcast, the podcast where music and perspectives collide.
I'm Anne, a music lover who's the ultimate fan.
And I'm Kelly, a professional musician. Join us as we dive into the world of the Rose and other Korean and Asian rock bands.
Sometimes we'll agree, sometimes we'll wildly disagree, but what's guaranteed is a passionate, hilarious, and unfiltered conversation about the music that unites us and the bands that inspire us.
On today's show,
bollocks.
This is Editor Kel. Lovebombing is a psychological manipulation tactic involving intense attention, excessive flattery, lavish gifts, and an overwhelming affection in a relationship to create a sense of instant connection and dependency. It's a red flag.
Back, everybody. This is our special Hot Takes episode 27, Into the Love Bomb. Kelly, this was such a perfect name that you came up with for this episode because we have been love bombed by the Rose over the last couple weeks. And I have two things I need to say before we go in to all these updates that we have. Okay, one, Kelly. You know, it's so funny. We just had our last Hot Takes episode called Into the Future. I remember you saying something interesting in that episode. How important you thought it was that they keep the momentum going, that they don't just drop off the face of the earth. And then suddenly, here we come with this mountain of new content in our faces.
Yeah. It's not kind of what I meant.
Hey, beggars can't be choosers, okay? This is always what I think's funny. It's either they listen to us, Kelly, you know, we say this shit, and then suddenly these things always end up happening, or they don't listen to us, and we say this shit, and it ends up happening. So it's like either way, it's kind of weird and creepy.
It is.
I'm
not a witch. I know we've had this discussion before, but I definitely know.
And we don't work for them. We've had this discussion before too.
I mean, it might be fucking easier if we did, but no, we don't work for them.
It's just that we are so in sync, I feel like, with the Rose. It's just so weird. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to point out. Here's point number 2, Kelly. And you know, I said this. Point number 2 before we go in. I've got to get this off my chest. I said this in Into the Future. I said this in the In the Future episode.
Yeah.
You know, we have had more posts from Kim Woo-sung on Instagram in the last week and a half than we have had in the last year. And I'm sorry, I find it shocking. It's jarring and it's shocking and it's weird. And it gives me like a little bit like side eye, like what's going down. You know what it makes me think of, Kelly?
What's it make you think of?
It's like when you're dating this guy. It's like when you're dating this guy and you're all hot and heavy. And you're like, yeah, this is nice. And then he starts ghosting you. And, you know, you're like, okay, I thought we had a thing. But you know what? You play it cool. You know, you're not out there stalking his Instagram just to see if you missed a post. You know, you're not doing that. You're just hanging back. Then he starts sneaking in your DMs and your texts. And you're just like, what the hell is this? It's just like you're just like side-eyeing him. Like, what is this? Why is this suddenly happening? It's like you feel like it's like something weird.
Possibly.
You know? But I've come to realize this about Sammy.
What's
we
that?
now know what pulls him away from maintaining that perfect stats in Pokemon Go. There are 3 things that will pull this man away. Number 1,
come
Kelly.
On then. I'm right. Okay, I'm down with this. Come on then. What is it?
Number 1.
Yeah.
The film.
Okay,
he is passionate about promoting this film.
Yes.
I love that for him.
Yeah.
Get out there, Sammy. Give us those posts. Fuck, he reposted a fan cam.
Mm.
A fucking fan cam.
Mm.
Good on that person. Holy shit. I flew out my chair.
Well, but you do realise why that one was posted, don't you? Because it was a nice,
It
clean
was
shot
trauma.
of him, and it was trauma, and there was nobody's heads in the way.
Yeah, but still, I'm just saying.
There you go.
Just saying.
I'm look, Delulu, and then me. So I'm just going to give you the. That's why. Okay, come on, we're on about me here. Yeah, come on, I'm carry on. Go on.
No, I'm just recognizing. Good on that person. Holy cow. The number of followers they're going to get now is going to skyrocket. Good for you. Number 2. Hey, I appreciate as an American, he's a fellow American. He realizes this country is going to hell in a fucking handbasket, and he still has something to say.
No
Good
shit,
on him.
Sherlock.
I was happy to see that.
Yes.
Number 3, Kelly.
Yeah.
Jay Park. Holy shit. Jay Park. Hats off, Jay Park. Can we all be Jay Park? Kelly, do we need to start making fan edits of Jay Park to get in Sammy's algorithm? Because apparently,
but
he loves Jay Park.
Did you actually look at that post properly? Because it wasn't all Jay Park. It's actually a new act that's coming in.
Okay. So
actually, Sammy started doing a Sammy recommends, like we do a K-Rock recommends. So
yeah, he's a good Sunbae Nim. Yeah, he's out there promoting his fellow artists. Yeah. But hey, I'm just saying, these are the things now in my mind. If we want to get that man off of that maintaining his perfect stats on Pokemon Go, it's a short list.
It's a very fucking short list. It is a very fucking short list. Well, hey ho.
Okay, my rant is over. Let's get into all of the.
Are we sure we are?
I was just like, what? I'm sorry. It's shocking when he posts, and it just is jarring. So I don't know.
Why is it shocking?
It anymore. I want him to just stay back.
It's not shocking. It's not shocking when he posts. What is actually more shocking is the fact that he's remembered his fucking password, or actually realised what digit he needs to put on his actual screen to unlock it. That's actually what's more shocking. Come on.
Well, anyway, we'll jump into all of our updates, and let's start, Kelly, with the Busan International Film Festival appearance. Why don't you walk us through that?
So the Rose appeared at the International Busan Film Festival on September the 20th. The guys, along with our wonderful friend Eugene Yi, appeared at the festival and did a 30-minute Q&A, which was basically like a red carpet event. So instead of it being the hustle and bustle and scream, it's a very organised sort of journalist press event. Obviously, there was a lot of fans there as well. And that was on the YouTube channel, so it was actually shown live. Do you know what was lovely? Actually, something of theirs that was live from Korea, and I didn't have to get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for. That was wonderful. I was sat there, I was
nice.
Happy and content, cup of tea in hand, watching it. Yeah, that was wonderful. So we'll link that YouTube video to the episode as well. So if you haven't seen it, you can catch up on it. But yeah, it was interesting. And it was lovely to see the guys up there. There was some quite funny moments. And there was some moments where you just sit there thinking, oh dear God. But yeah, really proud of the guys. I think they did very, very well. Exceptionally proud of Eugene as well. And his entire team and Diane, because my God, honestly, the fact that they've managed to do this and turn it around is amazing.
Yeah, we have a clip from that. Let's show that. All right, here they are. I have to say, Kelly, this was like, look at Eugene. Can we just give a shout out to Eugene and his style? I'm loving this shirt, Eugene. I think he looks good next to the guys.
Amazing. And I like the fact that from a distance, it looks like a TV.
He looks so cool.
He does.
There's Sammy. He looked very handsome in Prada and Chanel. There's our Dojoon, which apparently he's referred to as like the international star. He referred to himself as an international
Yeah,
star, which I
international star of stage and screen. Yeah.
okay, here we go. This is when I wish we had Cheryl from Woosung's Wardrobe on speed dial. I'm sorry, but Jeff killed it in
Yes.
this stunning jacket. Hats
Yeah.
off, Clive.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he and Sammy, I think, were styled the best out of the four, but they all
I
look
I
handsome.
honestly, I think they all look stunning. They all look stunning. They really, really did. Anybody'd think they'd been listening to a certain podcast where we may have commented on various styles that suit various body shapes, but we won't get into that at all.
I know,
But no, no.
I know. This
Every,
is just
every,
so
every,
funny. It's just like
my only sort of comment was the fact that I'm sure Hajuni knows how to fasten a tie, but it literally looked like he'd been to school all day and it was the end of the day and it was as you're walking home. Because anybody who's ever worn a tie for school will know this hell.
he did. He was the only one that looked slightly disheveled. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I thought it.
But it was rock star
But let me just
disheveled.
tell you. Yeah, boy, Jeff in that jacket, I think he's causing a stir across social media. Everybody's talking about that beautiful jacket.
I'm trying to remember who
that
the
was a wonderful
designer
pick.
was. Who was the designer of that
Yeah.
jacket?
Check out Cheryl at Woosung's Wardrobe on Instagram. She just put out a post saying the designer name. It was not someone I heard of.
Dries von Horton or something like that, I think. Yeah, when I first saw it, it looked a little Gucci, to be perfectly honest, but normally Gucci tend to hide the moniker in it somewhere along the line, and it was just like, no, it can't be, because but colour-wise it had got that thing about him. But yeah, the two of them stole the show. However, I am enjoying Dojoon wearing a casual look, not a grandpa look, a casual look. The Prada bomber was very, very nice as well.
Yeah, he didn't look 60, Dojoon.
He looked his age.
Yeah, you looked like a stylish 30-year-old handsome prince from Busan.
Let's get it right.
Yeah.
International star of stage and screen from Busan.
So there's a couple things I wanted to point out of this like Q&A. One, my God, my heart went out to them because they all looked so nervous.
They really, really, really did look nervous.
Oh my God, they look terrified. And then I feel like as a Black Rose, like instantly I just get protective and I'm just like, oh, like I just wanted to give them all my positive energy. Cause yeah, they looked terrified, but I thought they did a great job. Eugene did a great job. So shout out to Eugene. And then I just kind of loved that the MC that came out, he instantly said at the very beginning that he had just seen the film and he had really positive things to say about the film. So I just, that meant a lot to me. I'm sure that meant a lot to all of them. And then I thought it was nice that there was an interpreter on hand.
Yes.
So that, because I wasn't sure. I remember I said to you, I was like, okay, I might be prepared to just do as much translation as I can, as quickly as I can. But I thought that was nice. I thought it was nice then, because we know so much of the audience are not Koreans. There are Black Roses that travel. Yeah, we travel for our guys.
You've also got to remember a lot of the journalists that are there aren't Korean either. I mean, it's an international movie festival. True. And obviously, because of the level of Korean cinema at the moment, well, I say Korean cinemas kind of died on its arse a little bit just recently. But the actual level of sort of like Netflix and stuff on Viki and all of those type of things is huge. It's such big news. So you're going to send international journalists, and I will point out that somebody who shared some of the details from the screening a little bit later on was in fact a journalist from Empire. If you know your film magazines.
Yeah, I don't know my film magazines, but I'm glad it sounds like you're inferring that's an important one. so,
It's a very
so
important
that's
one.
good.
It's a very important one. So I think we can gist the fact that there may be a review coming out in next month's Empire. I'm
Oh, that would
just dropping that in there.
huge. I just loved, in Korean, it's not, this isn't a surprise because in that sort of setting, everyone should be speaking with honorific language.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I loved hearing the MC use the honorific title 배우님, which literal translation would be like actor, sir. So
Yeah.
he referred to all of them as 우성 배우님, 태겸 배우님. And I could tell for the guys it was a little awkward. Like they thought it felt a little awkward to have that honorific title used because they don't see themselves that way. But I don't know. I kind of love that. It made me again feel like very proud of them. And he asked, I like each of their responses. So the MC asked how they felt like seeing themselves on film. And Taekyum said that through all of the individual interviews, like when he watched the film, he got to kind of see what everybody talked about in their individual interviews for the first time and how he honestly learned new things about how each of them feel that maybe they haven't talked openly about as four friends and their vulnerability. I thought that was really poignant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I think those individual interviews are such a rich part of the film. I think there's a lot of, that's where the candidness, the vulnerability, the honesty really comes out through those. And it was funny. He kind of said like it's difficult to watch themselves like as a third party. They tried to be as candid as possible. This was Dojoon that was saying this, and that he regrets that some things weren't included in the movie. And so the MC joked about, is there going to be a sequel, like a part 2? And I have to think, Kelly, you know what this made me think of?
I know what it made you think of.
It totally brought me back to our interview into the transmission with Diane Kwan and Eugene Yee. And so viewers and listeners, if you haven't listened to that episode, definitely check that out. Again, Eugene Yee is the director of this film. He was there with the guys and he talked about that with us in our interview, that there was just for the sake of like both time in the film, but also keeping true to the arc of the story of the Rose, there were things that just couldn't be included. And Eugene said, Dojoon talked a lot about relationships in the industry, having girlfriends, and he was actually had a lot of things to say about that and was kind of disappointed that didn't make the film. And I was like, this is what Dojoon is talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That's what went through my head when I heard it. I was like, oh, come on, Dojoon, leave it alone. So I'm going to get my point across.
Dojoon, if you're listening or watching, come on the podcast, buddy. We have all the time in the world for you.
Vent. That's true, we do. I will apologise for her behaviour if you do come on, though.
You got something to say, Dojoon? We'll give you a platform. That's all I'm saying. So, I thought Dojoon's comment was so endearing because he talked about kind of seeing himself on camera, and he said, oh, he was happy he looked cooler than maybe he thought he was gonna look.
Come on, we are on about King Dork here, aren't we? Come on.
Well, I mean, And again, we called him a 60-year-old man, so it might
But
be
he's
fitting.
everybody. No, let's get this right. He's everybody's favorite dork.
Oh, come on. Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
I mean, we
There
had
you
to
go.
kind of disclaimer in our Into the Wardrobe. It's like, okay, we're not talking about them as people here. We're just talking about his clothes.
We are talking about the clothes. It's not what's in the clothes, it's the clothes.
I know. I was like, we had some black roses coming at us and some defending
That's
our
fine.
guys here. But I'm like, wait, we're
No,
just
what's in the clothes
yeah,
is absolutely fine. It's just what's wrapping the clothes, you know.
yeah. Sorry if we hate, pussy bow blouses, but it doesn't mean we hate Dojoon.
No, we don't. This
Yeah.
is true. We just hate that blouse. Even Auntie
And then
Ethel
again,
hated that blouse.
Again, I love him referring to himself as this international star. And then the MC joked when it was Sammy's turn and it's like referred to him as standing next to the international star from Busan.
He just cracked though, didn't he? He couldn't do anything. He was literally, I'm surprised he wasn't on the floor. He was just like, I can't look at him.
I think it threw Sammy off. I don't think he was expecting the MC to say that. It kind of threw him off a little bit.
I don't think he necessarily expected any level of humour on the stage, did he? And it was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. We do need to give a shout out to the MC actually, because he was really good, and I think he put the guys at ease, because it's such a strange world. That sort of, because you've got to bear in mind, I mean, the guys are walking out on a stage that they're used to doing, but normally you walk out and you're hid behind something. So you've got an instrument of some description that you hide behind, or the persona that you're hiding behind. And then they've literally got a mic in front of them. They don't know what the questions are going to be that they're going to be asked. So they've got to quick fire think of what it is that's going to come out. And then in front of them, not only have they got the cameras of their fans, but they've actually got journalists sat there with cameras, and it's going out live to you don't know how many people. So, I mean, it's going to be nerve-wracking, but they're going to have to get used to it.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be more of this, guys. There will be more. I hate to say this, but there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is a very different type of environment. I mean, I don't know that they've even done a whole lot of true like press junket.
No, well, I mean,
and if they have done press junket, it has not been since the Duel era.
No,
they didn't do anything like this during WRLD.
No, I don't think they've ever really done press junkets, to be perfectly honest, because this is the closest thing I've ever seen them do to a press junket. So this would be like an open junket. Whereas a proper press junket, normally what happens is you're in a room and you just have interviewers just coming in, asking questions, out, in, out, in, out, and you'll literally do like 10 interviews on the bounce. Whereas traditionally what they tend to do is they will go and spend time with content creators normally. They're not even really interviewers. They don't seem to do the whole interview thing, which is a huge glaring mistake, because they've potentially missed out on some stuff they should have done previously and had access to. But that's a different story and a different tale.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see them doing more of this press junket. I mean, spoiler alert, we got some big news, 2 days before they went to the film festival, that their film did get picked up.
So they've been picked up for international release in 2026, and it's CG 4D Plex, I think, that's picked it up. And am I right in thinking though that they have done multiple sort of biopics of Korean artists and musicians? I think, did they do the Day 6 one?
I do not know that. I can't fact check that. So
I think they did the Day 6 one, and they've also done a couple of other sort of like actor central biopics as well. So it fits very heavily into the sphere of what they're doing. It's not out it's not out of the ballpark, shall we say, as a distribution company. It's what they do. So I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, but I would think with this getting picked up for worldwide theatrical release in 2026, they're only gonna be asked to do more of these
Hmm.
kind of things.
Well, you have
Being
to. I
out
mean,
in front of the camera,
yeah,
being interviewed, talking more openly about the film with journalists
yeah.
and whomever. So I think they're gonna need to start getting used to
They've
this.
got to start getting used to
Um,
it, and they possibly need
mhm,
to have a little bit of PR training beforehand as well. Which
mhm. I
I
think
mean, is
I
is
think that would be a good idea for them.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not great. You don't really want to do it, but somebody that literally will teach you not to. If somebody asks you a question you don't want to answer, you don't suddenly go, and your ticks are hidden when you're getting worked up and things like that. That's what PR
Mhm.
specialists are for. So it might be something they want to look at, especially
Oh, yeah.
as this is going global. Definitely, but I mean, it's fantastic
Yeah.
news that they've been picked up. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for Diane and the team. That's for the
Yeah,
production team. That's amazing.
congratulations. Yeah, congratulations again to Diane Kwan, all of the production team at Quanco Productions, Eugene Yee, everyone that worked on the film.
Yeah,
This is what they've all been working really, really hard for. So excited
yeah,
for all of them. So back to the MC, I think then we were joking about like, Sammy being thrown off a little bit by the joke. But then he shared this was so like sweet. Like he shared that he was a little bit worried about if people would find the film interesting enough to watch, which I can so
wow,
relate to that because it's just like if this is a film of your literal life and you're just kind of like who actually cares like about like
yeah,
our story, or like who we are. But then he continued very candidly admitting that he also was scared to show the whole world and open up all of their troubles and trials
mm,
and traumas. And it made me think back to how we talked about his songwriting and world and how it's been the most vulnerable he's ever been, in my opinion. And just really this film is like that. You and I talked about that extensively in both, I think, our Into the Tribeca episode and
yeah,
Into the Transmission episode when we had our great conversation with Diane and Eugene of the guy's vulnerability, particularly Sammy's vulnerability through the film. And that, for him, he said they've been sharing their story up to this point through music, but now they are, you know, seeing and exploring how they can share it through other
yeah.
mediums. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I think
So
one
we'll
of the
see.
one of the interesting things to come out of this though, and it is in a weird roundabout way. So obviously, these interviews will have been done prior to the writing of World. It's allowed them to understand, especially Sammy, that there's no leverage in vulnerability. You can just be vulnerable. And I think being vulnerable in front of a camera and literally the two people, the cameraman and whoever it would have been on the day, and we know from Eugene a lot of the time it was himself, that that allows that level of vulnerability is something that you can open up to the world. You're not going to be looked badly for doing it. I mean, it's. I mean, a personal experience. It is hard to be vulnerable, but actually sometimes just let it go because at the end of the day, everybody has insecurities. Everybody has vulnerabilities. But yeah, I find it interesting, like the timing and then the arc of World, and
Mm,
like the fact that that's become like a
yeah.
new level of vulnerability. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And I think Eugene kind of talked about that too with the MC, the importance of building trust. He talked about that in his interview with us
yeah,
as well. Eugene recognized all of the other crew that were there in the audience at the Busan Film Festival. And I think he and his crew were able to create that environment for
Yeah.
the members of the Rose to feel comfortable and open up, and that Eugene's proud in this documentary that he feels like the Rose were able to be more candid and be more vulnerable than maybe Korean musicians have been able to be,
Yeah.
truly on camera in the past. And that's part of what makes it, a great documentary. So yeah, again, it was great that it was live streamed. I think we were all pleasantly surprised that we could see the guys and support the guys and support
Yeah.
Eugene and Diane. And then why don't you go into kind of next what occurred after the screening of the film, Kelly?
After the screening of the film, the Rose performed a mini concert, very much like they did at Tribeca. But I think this was more of a sort of, it was felt very more like a busking thing than a concert as such. So the guys took requests from the audience. So they sang Trauma in full. So that was its premiere as such on a stage. And the set list that they did was Sorry, California, She's in the Rain, Time, Sour, I Don't Know You, Seesaw, Trauma, and Shift. Now, other than Trauma, everything else was sort of verse and a chorus. Very much
Mhm.
like it is during sound check. It's very rare that you'll get a
Mhm.
full song during sound check. Um, but it was lovely to see them. They seemed a lot calmer in that environment, hid behind their instruments. And yeah, it was good to see. Now, us obviously, we don't know how far Sammy is in his treatment and recovery, if he's actually started down that path yet. Um, but I could still hear him straining quite a bit. There was a lot of air still going over, and there was certain tracks where the other guys would step in and cover him. You could see that the guys were ready to pounce if they needed to be as well. But yeah, it looked like a really lovely, intimate little show for the people that were there, and a proper little treat.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. Yeah, a couple of things struck me on this. I do think it was interesting. They took a very different approach than they did at Tribeca, as you
Mm.
said. And Sammy kind of said that at the beginning, that they are a busking band and they just kind of wanted to keep it very informal, with taking the requests. And in true the Rose fashion, just like any fans that have gone to their sound checks, when they do that, it's not polished, it's not
No.
perfect. They don't, they're struggling to find the chords, they're looking them up on Google,
Oh,
which in a way
Google.
was a little bit, yeah, in a way was a little bit like, okay, this is a very formal event for them to treat it that way. So you can
Yeah.
kind of see it, I guess, positives and negatives.
Mm.
You kind of would expect, like they did at Tribeca. Well, they still had trouble at Tribeca, but that they go into these situations being very polished and perfect and executing it that way. But I guess that's just, like we've said before, it's just kind of not who they are in their
Yeah.
core, good or bad, whether you look at that positive or
Yeah.
negative. And then, yeah, Sammy, I mean, he honestly, even he said this in Korean, but during singing the song I Don't Know You, he had to stop. He admitted his throat was not in good
Yeah.
condition. Um yeah, and he kind of, you could tell, you can always tell, I can always tell when he gets very frustrated with himself, and he was starting to feel that way
Yeah.
by that point, because as you read in the set list, it was a little further down into them. And so yeah, he definitely still admitted. So I'm suspecting, obviously I don't know his, situation, but I get a sense that maybe he's gone for any of those consultations, because it sounded like he wanted to do that right away.
Yeah.
But I doubt he started any treatment given what his voice sounded like. And obviously, just by singing that he struggled a little bit in California too, but
Mm.
just by singing that amount of time, which was not that much time, he was not singing
Well, I mean,
well.
it's like as we've mentioned before, though. It obviously depends what treatment he's going for, and even if he literally just goes for basic treatment, it's like 3 or 4 weeks out. So he wouldn't have actually had time from finishing
Yeah.
the tour to doing this to actually having treatment. So he would have been, on basically sort of like, you know, silent treatment anyway. So that'll be probably why he's not had anything yet. But no, we know it's going to be all right. We know he's going to be okay, but he does need to get it sorted because I think the frustration of it will actually get to him more than anything,
Mm,
than the pain, and it's painful. It is painful. It's not
mhm.
nice. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, because I would think as a singer, you know, something that came so easily in the past now is a chore. That
Mm.
must feel so frustrating.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that's the situation he's in right now.
But I mean, it's the same
Um,
as a bass player get repetitive strain injury. Yeah.
I think the other really interesting tidbit that he shared um, in his ment when he was introducing the song Trauma was when they wrote this song, Kelly.
Yeah,
So he
that was
said that they wrote
interesting.
this song, yeah, when they were putting together songs for the Heal album, but it just didn't make the cut. And he kind of felt like, maybe it was meant to be. They
Mm.
saved it for this documentary. But I couldn't help, I had to just repost this on our story, but I was like, no wonder the first time I heard that song, I was taken immediately back to that interview during the Heel era with Zach Sang,
Zach Sang, yeah,
because that's
exactly.
complete. And I put that clip out on our
Yeah,
Instagram weeks
yeah, you
ago,
did, yeah.
but that's kind of what he was talking about, those
Mm,
childhood traumas. And no wonder that interview like immediately came into my mind because they
mm.
wrote that song during that
During that period,
time.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Mhm. I love learning new little things like that. Well, yeah, that was so exciting. We don't know again like when we'll see them again, so it was just nice to kind of have this to look forward to, but we'll see what happens from now. So let's move on to the next tidbit. I joked about this one, Kelly, in my little intro rant. So Sammy put out on his Instagram story on September 12th, he posted a snippet of the lyrics from the song on the World album called Nevermind. And this story caused kind of a stir, I
Oh
feel like, for
god,
some Black
yeah.
Roses, because it was a particular set of lyrics with just a plain black background with a white font. And let me play that clip for us right now.
The world keeps moving on. What's left if you were right? Who's right if you were left behind? Running in circles, the world keeps spinning fast. Without a sight to side, fighting just to blur the lines. Honestly, never mind.
All right. So I I feel like again, like it caused a little bit of a stir from some fans. And I don't know if
Yeah.
it's like I mean, again, um, if you're not, maybe living in the United States, from the United States, or just not, as aware of all the shit that's happening in the United States, you might not have understood his reference. And I think some people didn't get why he did that or like what he was referencing. Um,
I mean,
I feel like people, what were you gonna say? You start first.
are people living under a rock, for one?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Two, are they not capable of understanding the fact that not everything is written about heartache, sometimes it's about what's happening in the greater world and political shit. And I must admit, when it came out, I was like, okay, cool. I see what you're saying. Well done. You're making a statement. Good on you. I'm with you with this. And then just the sort of, oh, yeah. Then the tidal wave happened, and I just thought I need to switch off for 10 minutes because, yeah, yeah. My
Yeah.
salty British ass is not coping with this level of Delulu.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when we did our breakdown in, I think we did that one in the Into the World part 2. We
Yes.
did the Nevermind song in that episode. You know, we talked about that particular set of lyrics
Yeah.
is definitely, I mean, his wordplay is so
Yeah.
creative on the left and the right. So for us, it was very obviously a political,
Yes.
message. And for me, again, living in the United States in the level of chaos and horridness that's happening in my country, it's just like I saw that and I felt seen. Like I just was like,
Yeah.
Sammy, like, wow, like I needed that, And I think about him a little bit. Like I just wonder what it's like for him as an American not living right now in America,
Mm.
but yet his country is going to hell in a handbasket and his family is here. His mom is here. His brother is here. He
Yeah.
has cousins here and they're living it day to day, but he's not
Yeah.
here living it day to day. And I just think a little bit like what that must feel like for him.
And I
And
mean,
yeah, I just feel like yeah.
there's also the fact as well, at the time that was posted, obviously there was huge news in America
Mhm.
regarding what happened, but that also buried a lot of other news as well, which is huge news, which is news that is, how shall I put this sensitively? Because I don't want to put it sensitively. I want to just say exactly how it is, which is bullshit, to be perfectly honest. But there were certain acts that were happening that weren't legal and weren't by the book, that were written into due process. I'll leave it at that because you don't want angry Kelly. Kelly does not talk politics because Kelly gets angry.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just, you know, commend him. I think it was a quiet statement.
Yes.
Um and again, like I joked at the beginning. Of course, I'm joking, listeners and viewers, but he doesn't come on much. And so I think when he does now, I know I take very strong, what am I trying to say? Like, I listen more because
Yeah.
I think, like, you know, he doesn't come on every day. He doesn't come on every week. He doesn't come on every month, barely. And
Mm.
so when he does, it's that he has something he wants to say.
Yeah.
And so that it just like holds a lot more weight to me. Um and I pay a lot more attention of like what he is saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, good on him, as you would say on
Yeah.
that.
It was
All right,
very
why don't we go? Oh,
it was very eloquently put,
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it was very
I
and it
guess it
was
was
very
like quiet.
it was very Switzerland as well, but it still stated it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was done in a very good way. All right, why don't you go in our next bit of news, the exciting announcement of a live stream concert, Kelly.
Yeah. Now we were discussing this because I know you were on about the Seattle show and the fact that there were cameras there and everything else. I think the only other show that actually had a large camera presence was LA. But obviously, that was a YouTube theatre. Um, so on September the 12th, on Lovebomb Day, which is what it shall now be referred to as, seeing as we just kept getting
Love
assaulted
Bomb Day.
left, right, and centre. And it's like, I'm just going to drop this and this and this and this and this. It's like, look, dude, slow down. Can we just, dudes, slow the hell down? What drip feeders? We can cope with being drip fed. Just don't dump the entire shit cart at once. Because this is what happened.
Oh my
Drip
God.
feeders.
I have
Drip
such
feeders. Please.
I don't know why I've got such sus content going through my head right now of some references I can make, but I'm not going to. I will
Don't
keep you
go
moving.
there. Do not go there. I expect you to sit on your hands and be quiet. We're behaving?
I will.
Are we sure?
I'm
Good.
behaving.
Better bloody do. I'm not having that type of filth in here. Crying out loud, madam. Anyway, where was I? So, on September the 12th, Love Bomb Day, it was announced that there would be a live stream of the Once Upon a World tour. And it was the Seattle show that will be previewed, shall we say. And it's going to be accessible through a company called Veeps, who also have an app as well. It's a streaming platform. And we'll put the link in. So if you haven't arranged access to it and you want to, you can do. So the live stream will go live on September the 27th. And it will run until October the 27th, if I remember correctly. It's on for a set length of time. So within that time frame, once you've accessed the live stream, you get 48 hours to watch it. Which, I mean, it's an hour and a bit show, so you can watch it as many times as you want in that time. So just, have a duvet day and do it properly. And then the Rose will release the live stream on their channel after October the 27th. But it looks as though you're going to have YouTube Premium for that bit.
Yeah.
So if you've got, it depends what you want to do, whether you want to, if you've got YouTube Premium and you want to watch it at a later date, or if you just want to actually sign up and actually order the live stream itself. It's not a drastic amount of money, and there are multiple packages as well, which I still haven't got my head round what's included in the multiple packages. Did you work it out?
Yeah, there's one that is all digital that has 4 photo cards. And then there's one that has a physical photo card bundle. So yeah, that's kind of how it appears. This was really exciting. Now they did during the Dawn to Dusk tour, they did the same sort of thing with the Kia Forum show. Like I can't go back and watch the Kia Forum one, which I would have loved to have, seen
to
that.
be perfectly honest, there is an idea here, but I will charge them for it. And I'm not going to say it.
Ooh.
But if anybody has any comments,
idea?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to keep giving them bloody ideas for free. Crying out loud.
Oh.
I've got my own empires to run.
I think we should start invoicing Windfall every month.
That's a good idea.
For all the ideas that come out.
I completely agree. I'm down with that. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah, we can start sending them an invoice.
Yeah, I think so too.
Clive will be like, "What is this? Who did? Well, did somebody buy something from something called K-Rockcast?"
I know, promo. I mean, shall we continue? I mean, how many things? Yeah. Let's not go there because it could be a very expensive bill.
But I had my spidey senses on this. I was not surprised because I had heard from Black Roses that I know that were at the Seattle show that they thought something was up because it was a little more advanced in the camera work. Yeah. And then Jack dropped a little hint on his Instagram story that some more content was coming out. So I wasn't surprised to see this, but it sounds like Jack must have been the one like really organizing this. So kudos to Jack.
Yeah,
stepping
Jack,
it up.
Definitely.
Which means it's going to be filmed beautifully because his work is incredible. And I mean, is this why, Clive, you put Sammy in this incredible outfit that Cheryl and I waffled on in the Into the Wardrobe Part 1 in Seattle. I mean, is this
Possibly.
why you got that guy in that outfit?
I mean, you couldn't have him looking like a dog's dinner if you're then going to charge people to look at it again.
I mean, thank God it wasn't the Toronto or the Denver show that they filmed for live stream where he's in the jungle shirt.
Came out again. Oh,
or
God.
Amsterdam with the doily.
It's crochet.
That would have been reason enough not to buy it.
It would be reason enough. That's true.
Sammy's in that doily. I ain't watching that shit.
I ain't touching that. I'm not touching that with a barge pole. In fact, I'm not touching it with somebody else's barge pole.
All right, let's move on into our last little bit of content here. This was a collaboration with a digital content creator. She does something called E-Trite Karaoke. She's on YouTube, she's on Instagram, she's on TikTok, and she's based in the LA area. She basically has an electronic tricycle, and she picks people up, celebrities and just average people walking on the street of LA. Says, if pay me $20, it's only $20, get in the back of my trike and sing some karaoke. So good on her that she's got that. And she had the rose. So this was like total random, again, love bombing us out of nowhere. Coming out
on September
we got
12th.
2 videos.
Yeah, September the 12th.
First one. Yeah, the first one was on September the 12th. I think the second one came out maybe 2 days later.
2 days later.
So we had Sammy first, and then we had Dojoon. I got beef though with the rose and this woman. Where's Hajun and Taegyum's videos?
Yeah, this is true.
But where are they? There are 4 members of the Rose, and they all can sing.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? I was so disappointed. I literally put on our Instagram reel, if I pitch in $24, can I get Hajun to sing?
I mean, like, you've got to carry that through to your dying day. I know that's your thing. Just carry it on. I know.
Hey, my more Hajun vocals picked up steam.
Yeah,
that became a thing.
I know. Yeah, I know. It became a thing. I know. I'm well aware.
So we had Sammy singing John Legend's song, PDA, We Just Don't Care, which I thought was a little odd because when she's asking him what he wanted to sing, he said he wanted to sing either Aqua, I'm a Barbie girl, or Khalees, Milkshake.
Well, obviously his Milkshake John does bring all the boys to the yard, doesn't it? Come on, let's get it right.
I was just like, where did this John Legend ballad come from when you wanted to sing like Milkshake? Like, I was like, what?
I've no idea. Clearance, like maybe? Strange. It might just be musical clearance. That's why he had to do it with John Legend. I just thought the entire thing was just whacked out weird. I really did.
Then we had our 60-year-old man Dojoon. Can let me share this, Kelly? Let me
go for it. I know what you're going to say.
All right, Kelly, can we look at this picture? Viewers. Yeah. Let's just
I have already said my piece on this. You know why there's a difference between the two, don't you?
Can we do a side-by-side comparison?
Mm-hmm.
So first, we have our bless his heart, Dojoon. I love this man to pieces. Fully seatbelted because this is road. We're on a road here.
It's a road. He's doing it correctly.
And a helmet.
Well, no, but as I said to you, and I will freely admit it, you have to protect the brains of the bunch.
Then we have Sammy, who's just back there. I don't know if, like, he didn't want to mess his outfit up, or he just is too cool for school. But
obviously too cool. But
sir.
No, but as I said to you, I mean, there's a brain division here, isn't there? Which is the brain of the bunch, and which one doesn't matter if it bounces?
Help it, but just laugh at these two. Like, how? different are they? Like, they're just so funny. And Dojoon just looked so he looked so happy when he was singing Jason Mraz Beautiful
He did,
Mess.
bless
Like,
him.
didn't he
He
just
did.
look like he was in heaven
He
in his
did.
yellow helmet and seatbelt? Like, I couldn't get over this so much. Now, this is what was interesting too, Kelly. I keep digging in to try to figure out, when did they film this? Because they're obviously in LA,
Yeah.
but they're in the same outfits that they filmed some other content
Yes.
with this
Yeah.
YouTube gamer called like Full Game Squad or something.
Mhm.
That interestingly, that content leaked, but then got pulled back really quickly and yet has to come out.
Yeah.
So they had to have done that because those guys are based in LA too. But this wasn't done when they were in LA because it was filmed when that leak happened. It was like, I mean, I want to say it was around the time they were in like Denver, to be kind of honest. And look at Sammy, day of the fresh perm. He looked like this was the day he looked like Lando.
But you do realise that is also the reason he's not wearing a helmet, because if he came off the back, he'd just fucking bounce with the amount of curls. I mean, it wouldn't matter, would it? I mean, it's literally, it's the ultimate modern day helmet protection for any cyclist. Just have the world's worst perm. I mean, I don't mind. Look, I don't mind the waves. I will freely admit, I think the waves look nice. But literally, when it looked like something from, oh God, 80s movie, coming to America. Have you seen that one? And they all have the fresh.
You're saying you look like you got a. You're telling me you look like you got a Jerry curl? I don't know about that.
It was that bad at one point.
I don't know about a Jerry curl, but
it was almost there.
Yeah, this was hilarious. But yeah, I keep trying to think, like, when did they come out with this content? It's like I'm always curious,
I don't know.
It was very random because it's like what you said before. They didn't. It's not like they're out there like promoting anything.
No,
there was no interview portion.
There was no interview.
It was like, what was this for?
There was no interview. There wasn't even the fact that they sat on the back of the cycle and she went, "Who are you? What are you doing here? What are you up to at the moment?" So there was no. Well, I mean, there was with a Rose, but obviously from South Korea, not North Korea.
I know, like there again. You always say he's so funny. I think that was his way of having a joke personally, but like I say, the man's jokes are as stale as week old bread.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, that one, it wasn't even week old bread. That one had got bloody penicillin growing on it. Come on, seriously. That was like, it was like the ultimate dad joke gone wrong. Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to give you a very British term for this. It was bollocks.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was like so random and strange, but hey, it was part of their love bombing of us, so
I know.
We should be excited. All right, to round this out, Kelly, we had a couple more things come out. Why don't you just share the other things?
So, just to complete and just annihilate everybody on September the 12th, because apparently that's what needed to be done, may I just point out something else happened on September the 12th. I don't know what that something else was on September the 12th. Oh, would it be my EP coming out on September the 12th? No, because that didn't fucking happen, did it, on September the 12th either? And it got buried under all of their tripe. Thank you, guys. I love you. I love you completely. You are amazing, you dickheads. Anyway, on September the 12th, we also got... via the Rosarian.
You're not bitter or anything.
I'm not bitter. Screw you, bastards. Anyway, anyway, it was my day, and they ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, on September the 12th, I'm not bitter. Once Upon a World Tour, we finally got the actual North America recap, part 1. So that's been a long time coming. But actually, when you bear in mind what Jack has been dealing with just recently, I'm not surprised. So it looks as though Jack's been knee deep, obviously, with the whole sort of streaming of the Seattle show. So cut the guy some slack. That's why this stuff is taking its time to come out. And obviously, the recaps are quite long. I think it was 25 minutes? Something like that.
Definitely a good 20.
It was a good 25 minutes. I think I'm not 100% sure about you, but I must admit, I think sort of like at least 5 minutes in. So we were on about Sammy's stale jokes and the fact that there's penicillin growing on it. There was a certain joke by a certain guitarist / keyboardist / singer / everything else that can. I'm not even going to repeat it because, yeah, okay. It was funny for the first 3 minutes, but after 20 minutes, yeah. If you've watched it, folks, you'll know what we mean. And then,
what are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know what I mean. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What am I doing is grimacing. Just at the thought of it. Anyway, and then on September the 18th, we had finally, the official trailer for the Rose Come Back to Me documentary. And so that was announcing that it would be hitting cinemas globally in 2026. Now, the trailer itself for the film is basically taken very heavily from the music video of Trauma. There's not really anything new in there. But it's great to finally see that that's actually out in the world, and hopefully we'll be doing the rounds.
Yeah. So we have one more piece of content we're going to talk about that was part of the love bombing, which was Dojoon's number 4 Dotune video. But viewers and listeners, we're not going to talk about it in this episode because we have a Patreon account and we are saving that as some exclusive content. If you do become a Patreon member, you're going to get to hear us break down. We've got some hot takes on that one, Kelly. I can't wait for our members on Patreon to enjoy that video. And if you are interested in joining Patreon, we're also doing a virtual hangout. So for select Patreon members, our first virtual hangout with Kelly and I is going to be on October 4th. So you need to be a member in order to be invited to that. So go ahead and sign up. We'll put all of our Patreon information within the episode description as well.
Excuse me, miss. Yeah. Can I just bring to attention what our virtual hangout is called?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Share the names. This is so fun.
So our virtual hangout is called Bra. And it's called Bra because it's Black Rose Anonymous. And we're contemplating a 13-step program to escape the cult.
Ooh. Listeners and viewers, if you come to our virtual hangouts, this is going to be so fun. Talk about unfiltered conversations that we're going to get to have and get to laugh and just have a good time. So you guys don't want to miss it. You definitely need to sign up for our Patreon membership.
One thing we do need to point out before we actually close up. Well, obviously we know the guys don't listen to us on here. But on Patreon, they really can't listen to us on there. So we can be extra naughty.
Yeah, we plan to be extra naughty on Patreon. So that's why you got to sign up for our exclusive content where we really take the filters off because we know the guys can't hear us and can't listen, and the virtual hangout. So yeah, I think that's a sell. That's the biggest selling point here. Let's face it.
Yeah, definitely.
Follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. We are at KROK_cast all across the board.
Click here to subscribe.
One of the things I want to point out, we've been getting a lot of questions about when Into the Wardrobe Part 2 is coming out,
Yeah.
Kelly,
I
which is so,
know.
I mean, I have to say, people loved that episode. So listeners and viewers, we haven't forgotten about part 2. It is coming out on September 30th. So be excited. It is just as hilarious as part 1. So be on the lookout for that. Email us. We enjoy your emails and your feedback. We are krock.cast@gmail.com. And don't forget our website, www.krockcast.com. All right. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.